Did you know there were over 600 attempts to assassinate Fidel Castro? Yes, it's true. The CIA, in a project codenamed Executive Action, made a myriad of attempts to end the life of the revolutionary Cuban leader, with each U.S. administration playing a part. This campaign started under Dwight D. Eisenhower with 38 attempts. Then came John F. Kennedy with 42 attempts. Lyndon B. Johnson was responsible for 72 attempts. Richard Nixon and Ronald Reagan were extremely persistent, with a staggering 184 and 197 attempts respectively. Other presidents were involved in assassination plans and tried several times as well. Jimmy Carter, 64 attempts, George W. Bush, 16 tries, and Bill Clinton, 21 attempts on Castro's life. These assassination attempts were diverse too. Some were part of Operation Mongoose, a covert CIA program aimed at toppling the Cuban government. These included cigars poisoned with botulism, a scuba diving suit infected with tuberculosis, and an exploding conch. Some of these plots were depicted in a documentary called 638 Ways to Kill Castro. It was on British public service television. One of these attempts was by his former lover Marita Lorenz. She agreed to aid the CIA and attempted to smuggle a jar of cold cream containing poison pills into his room. When Castro learned about her intentions, he reportedly gave her a loaded gun and told her to kill him. She refused. There were plans to blow up Castro during his visit to Hemingway's museum in Cuba. In fact, when Castro traveled abroad, the CIA cooperated with Cuban exiles for some of the most serious assassination attempts. The last documented attempt on Castro's life was in the year 2000. It involved placing over 198 pounds of explosives under a podium in Panama where he would give a speech. Castro's personal security team discovered the explosives and foiled the plot. Castro once said in regards to the numerous attempts on his life, "If surviving assassination attempts were an Olympic event, I would win the gold medal." That was an understatement. Another unusual plot. In 1962, the CIA considered a plan called Operation Bounty, which would have involved dropping leaflets over Cuba offering monetary rewards to the Cuban population for the assassination of various individuals, offering between $5,000 to $1 million for members of the Cuban government and only 2 cents for Castro himself. This would denigrate him in the eyes of the Cuban people. Another plot aimed not at murder, but at character assassination, involved using thallium salts to destroy Castro's famous beard, to make him look different and foolish, lacing his radio studio with an LSD-like substance to cause him disorientation during the broadcast and damage. His public image was another ploy to make Castro look idiotic. Many of the plans were leaked to Castro. This allowed him to elude these attempts at harm. CIA Director Richard Helms claims Kennedy administration officials exerted a heavy pressure on the CIA to get rid of Castro. So Castro not only survived over 600 assassination attempts, he also sailed through several character assassination attempts too. One of these attempts, as mentioned earlier, involved a chemical with effects similar to the drug LSD. It was sprayed in the air of the room where Castro would broadcast from his radio station. The goal was to make him lose composure and speak erratically while on the air. While this example may not be as dangerous as an assassination, it would have certainly been damaging to his career. Another early attempt relied on scuba suits. Castro liked to scuba dive, so the CIA decided to make an infected diving suit that would kill Castro slowly. They lined the suit with tuberculosis. The infected diving suit did not succeed. The plan was compromised, and Castro learned of the attempt there was also involvement with the mafia. One assassination attempt on Fidel Castro prior to the Bay of Pigs invasion involved American mobsters John Roselli, Sam Giancana, and Santo Trafficante. In September 1960, Momo Salvatore Giancana from Al Capone's Chicago outfit and Miami syndicate leader Santo Trafficante were indirectly contacted by the CIA about the possibility of Fidel Castro's assassination. Johnny Roselli, member of the Las Vegas syndicate, was used to contact mafia bosses. The go-between from the CIA was Robert Maheu from the Howard Hughes organization. He introduced himself as a representative of many international businesses in Cuba. Maheu met with Roselli in a New York City hotel and offered him $150,000 for the removal of Castro. James O'Connell was also present at the meeting. He identified himself as Maheu's associate. He was actually the chief of the CIA's Operational Support Division. According to CIA files, Giancana suggested poison pills as a means to Dr. Castro's food or drinks. TBC pills, manufactured by the CIA's Technical Services Division, were given to Giancana's associate Juan Orta. Giancana recommended Orta as being an official in the Cuban government who had access to Castro. Allegedly, after a few unsuccessful attempts to introduce the poison into Castro's food, Orta abruptly demanded to be let go from the mission. He handed over the job to another unnamed participant. The second attempt was mounted through Giancana, Rosselli, and Trafficante using Anthony Verona, a leader of the Cuban exile junta. Verona wanted $10,000 in expenses and $1,000 worth of communications equipment. The second attempt was apparently foiled when Castro stopped visiting the restaurant that had the botulinum toxin poison pills and was cancelled due to the launching of the Bay of Pigs invasion. The CIA had also contemplated using botulinum toxin to lace cigars to be delivered to Castro, but this plan never went forward since Castro had recently quit smoking. So, how did Cuba's famous leader meet his end? No poison pills, no exploding podium or seashells were involved at all. Ultimately, the former first secretary of the Communist Party of Cuba and president of the Council of State, Fidel Castro, died of natural causes on the evening of November 25, 2016, at the age of 90. Sometimes you have to just let nature take its course. What do you think? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching.